Hi guys, so I'm gonna show you my simple vibe coding framework. What we're gonna build is basically a lead magnet generator, which we're going to put a URL of a company, and it's going to research the company, figure out some pain points, and then build a lead magnet for us. If this goes well, at the end I'm gonna show you how to even automate that whole thing so you can generate leads on repeat without you doing anything. So first we're gonna start with the idea which we already have, but I'm gonna actually use Claude, Growth, and ChatGPT to actually help me solidify the idea and actually come up with the actual solution. And for the stack, we're gonna use Claude Code, Codex in Cursor, and also Support tool, which is Whisper. So already have the idea, but we're gonna come up with a more solid idea, basically using Claude, Grok, and ChatGPT to solidify the idea and come up with a plan. And then we're actually gonna use this support tool, Whisper, to make our life easier. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Claude Code and then I'm gonna just write or actually tell. Right now I'm gonna use Whisper to actually explain the app, and I'm doing that because it helps me visualize the whole thing and then explain it more clear with more details. So help me build an app which is a lead magnet generator. The idea is that we put an URL of a company, then we're gonna use AI to research that company, maybe something like Firecrow or Jira. And then we're gonna figure out what pain points this company might have, and after that we're gonna build a lead magnet that's connected to our offer. And our offer is lead generation. Just come up with something random. Actually, I'm gonna remove that part. Let's make it in. Let's use Node.js, Firecrow. And for the rest of the stack, I want you to suggest the best options. Cool, now we're gonna let it run. And as you can see, the Whisper is not really perfect, but it works well enough. Let's see, Express, Firecrow. It actually understood what we were trying to do. Yeah, okay. I don't wanna... For some reason, Claude is always trying to build stuff when I want just a project description. Okay, let me stop it. Don't code anything, I just want the project description for now. Help me come up with a better understanding of the app I'm trying to build. Ask me questions if needed. That last part is actually quite a good hack that you can use, because most of the times you don't really know what you don't know, and that is going to actually help you. It's gonna think with you and help you actually solidify your idea. So for example, here it asks me, when you enter a company name, do you also want to provide their website URL? Yes, I'm going to provide their website URL. It is a bulk automation. Actually, I want to process websites in bulk or individually. I want to have both options. To answer the other questions, ideally I want to understand what is their service, so I can better understand their pain points. The company and the industry, of course, is important. Tech stack, not so much, just because we're gonna use lead gen. Of course, we need to understand their CRM, but that's only if they become an actual client. Recent news and blog posts and social media, if we can also access that's going to be perfect, but it's not that important at the moment. The more specific we get with the pain points, the better. But if you can't find anything specific, just make sure that we're not coming up with some dumb ideas. Let's see. For now, I would just like a PDF report. And do you need an email copy? Actually, do you need an email copy? Let me think. Actually, let's keep it simple for now. Let's not include the email copy. Video script, definitely not. When it comes to the lead magnet, let's make it a pure value for the company. Let's not pitch anything at the moment. At the moment, we won't use any integrations. Let's see what it's going to come up with. Alright, so it came back with some questions. Who is that for, basically? And I'm gonna answer, this is going to be sent to the lead and it's purely for them. The less details about their company that we use, the better, just because we have less opportunity for mistake. Actually, no. The more details we can find about their company, the better, because it's going to show us that we actually understand their company. However, we should include only things that we are certain about, that we are 100% certain about if we're going to talk about their company. It should be a quick read, let's say 3 to 7 pages max, and we should also brand it with our logo and colors. Okay. Alright, as I mentioned, I want to have the ability to upload it one by one, basically pasting the URL. I also want to have the opportunity to use the API key to contact the server when we put it online. And also I want to have the opportunity to bulk upload. And yes, I have a Firecrow API because we're kind of building an MVP here. We don't really need all the details, but you can go as deep as you want with that, with the conversation, and then it's gonna come up with a plan. But I'm not gonna go that deep right now. So I'm gonna say, skip all the rest. Let's just build the project plan at the moment, and then we're gonna iterate over it. So let's see what it came up with. The company overview, improvement, scraping, analysis, PDF generation, text stack, Firecrow, yeah, okay, MVP, that's alright for MVP. Why did you choose PDF Kit or Puppeteer? Wouldn't that make it harder if we're gonna run it on VPS, for example? So it came up with some suggestions. I think I'm gonna use React PDF just because I used it for another project and it worked quite well. Alright, let's switch to React PDF for generation of the PDF. And I want you to give me the full plan with all the technical details. Let's see. Alright, so it came up with a very extensive plan, which, to be fair, we're gonna change most of it at one point or another, or at least part of it. And it seems like it's doing well. It gave us like a lot of information. But to be completely fair with you, I have no idea about coding. Therefore, what we're gonna use next is basically we're gonna battle test against Grok and ChatGPT. So basically we're gonna go to the bottom, gonna copy it. We're gonna open ChatGPT and Grok. And we're gonna say something like, this is an app that I want to create, and I have this plan. I want you to, what do I write? Think through it very carefully and suggest changes to the plan if necessary. Also, if you suggest changes, I want you to give me your reasoning and why it would be better. Then I just paste it. I'm gonna go to the bottom. Then I'm gonna remove this thing here, just then copy it, start it, and I'm actually gonna go to Grok and basically paste the same thing. The reason I'm doing that is because it helps us get more angles, and I imagine that if you're watching this video, you're not like a professional programmer, so the AI is going to have a much better idea than you what needs to be done and what the gaps might be. Actually, Grok already started giving a reply, and it's almost done, it seems. So let's see. Your plan for regeneration is comprehensively designed, and let me read it. Alright, so it gave us a couple of suggestions, for example, a job query system, which is actually quite good if there are too many requests, which in this case we won't have, but if you want to actually scale it, it's a very good idea. Reasoning, then a compliance check. Let's check. This we're gonna skip. Reasoning, GDPR. Actually, I like this one. I prefer Postgres compared to SQLite. It's just more stable for me. Alright, so all the suggestions that we got from here are actually quite good, and I think actually we should implement them all except the robotext, because it's going to really limit what we can scrape. Let's go to ChatGPT and see what it came up with. A good, well, basically the same one. Okay, it's actually a good one. So those suggestions are actually very similar to what we got from Grok, at least most of them. Okay. No, this one I don't like, actually. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna copy both suggestions, and we're gonna go back to Cloud Code and say something like, this is the feedback when I received when I gave your plan to other AIs. Tell me, what do you think about it? As you can see, my prompts are like not super complex. I'm just trying to basically make conversation with the AI and actually come up with better ideas. 1, 2, and I'm gonna also re-enable the extended thinking here, so it might take a second. Alright, so we got some response back. It's not actually finally generating, but let's see. Agree, job query, SRF protection, which, to be completely honest with you, I have no idea what it is. For Euro user, the classic tag. Okay, still have no idea what it is. Fair enough. Actual quotes with source URL is smart. Okay, that's actually a good one. Additional text tag, job role, okay. I mean, that's not really an MVP at the moment, it's more like the beginning of a full-fledged app, but let's see. SQL, verdict, is automatic, okay. Let me just check which parts are not worth implementing. So I guess you don't understand, but let me try it again. So you mentioned that some parts are worth implementing and some are not worth implementing. Can you tell me which parts you determine that are not worth implementing and why is that? Answer in short. And in this case, to be honest, I don't really want like a super detailed explanation. That's why I ask you to answer in short then, which is going to save us some time. Alright, so the first one I don't really agree just because I had issues with SQLite and basically anything that's not Superbase or Neon. And with all the rest, I more or less agree. Let's say, actually I want to implement the Postgres. Yeah, let's do it again. Yeah, let's see what it says. Then that's gonna be a lot of editing. It seems like it agrees me, so I'm just gonna say something like, okay, can you give me the full project description right now? So while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna go to, I'm gonna open new project. I'm actually gonna create a new folder. Let's say lead magnet generator or something like that. And it's a good idea to keep it with small letters and no spaces because in the future you might have issues. Just because in the future you might have issues otherwise. And here my stack basically is using Cloud Code with Codex, combination with Codex in Cursor. So I use Cursor and then I use the terminal to run Cloud Code. For some reason I just like it more than the extension. And we're gonna use it with the dangerous permissions. So it's a Cloud as does the dangerous keep permissions. And now we're in. So we're gonna check the plan again. If it's like a more complicated project, I'm gonna basically go here and copy the whole thing and do like a second round of the checks with the AIs, but in this case I'm just gonna continue. So I'm not filming for like 5 hours. I'm gonna go to Cloud Code, I'm gonna say something like, by the way, here you can use Whisper as well. So I'm gonna say something like, actually let me update my Cloud Code instance first. So I'm gonna say sudo cloud update. I'm gonna type my password and I'm gonna open Cloud Code again. So here I'm gonna say, I have a full project scope for a project I want to build. Can you check it and give me your opinion about it? I'm gonna use the ultra think setting here, actually. I'm gonna paste it now. Gonna take a second because like 900 lines. Now we're gonna do here, and now we're gonna wait a minute to see what Cloud Code comes up with. But I wanted to show you something that's more accessible to most people just because not everybody has Cloud Code. Alright, so it came up with some stuff here. Let me just read it for a second. I'm gonna come back. Alright, so I read actually through everything here. And to be completely honest, all the recommendations are quite on point. They actually make sense. And that's why you should double check your project with either Cloud Code or GPT 5.2 or 5.1 codecs in the actual cursor or terminal environment. Because they're actually built for that, and they're gonna use more resources and actually gonna have like a fresh look over the project. And we also have some questions here at the bottom, which are, do you want real-time job status update? What's your expected peak load, peak hours? Is it multi-tenant or single tenant? Let's start from the bottom. Right now it's only a single tenant application, so we don't need a multi-tenant infrastructure. I have no idea what my peak hours are gonna be. Pooling is acceptable. And then we're gonna say, if you have no other questions, start building. As you can see, I'm not really using some super in-depth prompting. I'm just trying to basically make conversation and come up with a good infrastructure, a good enough infrastructure for the start so we can check and validate the MVP. Alright, so Claude came up with some detailed plan for us, and then at the end we're asked, do you want to skip all the permissions and continue, or do you want to manually approve every task? Let's be fair, most of the people are just gonna click bypass all permissions and gonna call it a day, which in this case I'm gonna do as well. But before that, you should read, and I'm actually gonna read the whole plan. So let me come back in a minute. Alright, so after you read the whole plan, and if you agree with most of it, cool, let's continue. And I'm gonna get a coffee and Let's see what Cloud Code's gonna come up with. Alright, so we're maybe 20 minutes in or 10 minutes in, and we're only on the second phase. We actually use an expert core, which is a feature in Cloud Code. Basically, you can make a coding agent that specializes in a particular thing. And one of the main ideas here is that we're not going to use the context window of this main chat. We're going to use this main chat as a manager that's going to ask the agent, the sub agents, to actually perform the actual task. So as you can see, we just finished phase 3 and we're gonna move to phase 4. So we're maybe on an hour in, and as you can see, Cloud Code is still working. Actually, I hope I'm recording. And yeah, let's wait for a bit more and see what's gonna happen. So we are finally done. That took maybe an hour or two, I believe. Actually, we're actually still not done. We're going, but anyway, it seems like we're almost there. And next thing we need to do, we actually need to fill some credentials here, mostly for Firecrow and Anthropics. And of course, when you're coding with AI, it eventually is going to tell you, okay, I need this type of API key. But I'm just gonna fill the credentials and not show them again because I don't want my keys to leak. Cool, so I filled the API keys and I'm gonna ask something like, do you need something else, or we are ready for testing? Usually what we can do is basically ask a codex to double check everything, basically the whole project. But since I've been spending about 3 hours on it to catch a flight tomorrow, I'm gonna skip that and just go to asking it if we need something else, or we're just gonna proceed to testing. To be honest, I don't really expect it to be 100% done right now. I expect to have some errors. Actually, I hope that we have some errors because I'm gonna be able to show you how to troubleshoot them. And let's wait. Alright, since we're done, to be honest, I don't expect this to work from the get-go, but let me check it out. Go back here, enter it, and then website URL, what we're gonna use. Let's check on Google. Marketing agency, and that's Redwick. Now I'm just gonna copy the main domain. I'm gonna go back here. Let's see. Now it's gonna analyze it. Now if it works. And we see nothing so far. But let's give it like a second and maybe we're gonna get something. Let me try to open it here as well. API key again, okay. Let's see what's gonna happen. Well, just like the other one, nothing. So we're going to ask something like, hey, when I put the API key, then when I use the domain to analyze it, literally nothing happens. The screen goes black, and I don't think it's working. Can you please check? Let's go to the, oh, here. Let's check maybe the inspection too. Maybe we can see something. Console error, a bunch of them. Okay,